All right, today we're diving into one of the most ambitious and, frankly, controversial mega projects in the entire Middle East, Egypt's Dabaa nuclear power plant. This thing promises to completely reshape the nation's future, but it comes with a truly staggering price tag, which raises a very, very simple question. Why on earth would a country willingly pay 4 times more for the exact same amount of electricity? I mean, it just sounds backwards, right? But the answer, well, it's tangled up in a decades-long national dream and a really high-stakes geopolitical gamble. Let's just put this in perspective for a second. Look at these numbers. Back in 2018, Egypt built brand new gas plants that generate 4,800 megawatts of power. Cost? $7.5 billion. Now, the Dabaa nuclear plant? It's going to deliver the same amount of power for $30 billion. That's not just a little more expensive, that is a monumental jump. So what's really going on here? To figure that out, we have to look way beyond the price tag. Is this a brilliant, visionary investment for Egypt's future? Or is it a crippling financial trap in the making? Let's break down this enormous bet, and we'll start with the dream that set this whole thing in motion. You see, for Egypt, Dabaa isn't just a power plant. No, it's the finish line for a national dream that's been decades in the making. This whole journey kicked off way back in 1954 with President Nasser. But for over 60 years, it was just the story of false starts. They'd make some progress in the 80s, then it would stall. They got the green light from the International Atomic Energy Agency in 2010, and then the 2011 revolution put everything on hold again. The dream only became real in 2015 when President Sisi and Putin finally signed the deal that would bring Dabaa to life. Okay, so why pay that massive upfront cost? Well, it's a long-term play. It's all about the long game. Those gas plants, they have a lifespan of maybe 30 years, and they are forever tied to the wild roller coaster of global oil and gas prices. Dabaa, on the other hand, is built to last up to 80 years. And once that huge construction bill is paid off, its running costs are super predictable and stable. So it's a trade-off, a lot of short-term pain for what they hope is very long-term energy security. And this project is about so much more than just keeping the lights on. It's about strategic energy independence, breaking free from relying on imported fuels. It's about prestige, joining the exclusive nuclear club to really boost Egypt's standing in the region. And, as we're about to see, it's also a potential lifeline for the nation's growing water crisis. So let's get into the technical and financial blueprint. What exactly did Egypt sign up for with Russia? Okay, so the main contractor is Rosatom, which is Russia's state-owned nuclear giant. They're handling the entire construction, and they're installing 4 of their most advanced VVR-1200 reactors. This is Generation 3+ technology, which is a big deal, and we'll get to that in a sec. The goal is that 4,800 megawatts of power, all for that headline cost of $30 billion. But the plant's output isn't just measured in megawatts. Get this. It's also designed to produce 100,000 cubic meters of fresh, desalinated water every single day. In one of the most water-scarce regions on the entire planet, that is an absolute game changer. Of course, with any nuclear project, safety is the #1 question. Now, these Gen 3+ reactors are a world away from older designs like Chernobyl. They have what are called passive safety systems, which means they can basically cool themselves down even if all the power is lost. And they're built like absolute tanks. They can withstand a direct hit from a large passenger jet, and they meet all the strictest international safety standards. But for every promise this project holds, there is a massive risk attached. And it all starts with the financing, a deal that some fear could become a very dangerous debt trap. The project is overwhelmingly financed by Russia. They're fronting a loan that covers 85% of the total cost. Egypt is on the hook for the other 15%, which, by the way, still comes out to a staggering $5 billion. The loan is for about $25.5 billion at a 3% interest rate, and it gets paid back over 22 years. But here's the crucial detail, the part that makes everyone sit up and pay attention. The repayment currency is the Russian ruble. Now, this move helps Egypt avoid having to find scarce US dollars, but it also weaves its economic fate much, much more closely with Moscow's. And this dependency, it goes so far beyond just the loan. Russia is going to supply the nuclear fuel and manage all the hazardous waste for the entire 80-year lifespan of the plant. So this isn't just a construction contract. This is a strategic, multi-generational partnership that gives Russia immense long-term leverage. As you can imagine, this whole deal has created a clear geopolitical fault line. The West sees Russia using its nuclear technology to gain a powerful strategic foothold in the Middle East. But from Cairo's perspective, this is a masterful balancing act. They see it as using a Russian partnership to secure energy independence, which in itself is a powerful form of leverage against all outside influence.
So, what this all means is that this single project puts Egypt at a huge crossroads, with two vastly different futures hanging in the balance.
Because the ultimate prize here, the goal that justifies all this risk, is true energy independence. It's the power to control your own destiny, to be immune from volatile energy markets and the political pressures that always come with them. So you've got two clear paths forward. The best-case scenario, Dabaa becomes this generation's high dam, a massive, transformative project that powers the nation and secures its future. But the worst case? The huge loan becomes impossible to pay back, and the dream turns into a multi-generational economic nightmare.
Ultimately, the success of this entire gamble might just hinge on one thing: people. It's not enough to just build the plant. Egypt has to cultivate a whole new generation of its own engineers and scientists who can run it, innovate with it, and truly own it, finally breaking that cycle of dependency.
And so we're left with that $30 billion question. Will Dabaa be Egypt's new high dam, a monument to foresight and national ambition, or will it become a monument to a dream that simply costs too much? The answer, whatever it is going to define Egypt's future for the rest of this century.